Sorry, you have daddy issues? Who is not noticing that this is happening? That's drama.
I immediately want to go, no.
Imagine spending so many thousands of pounds and then being like, holy shit, I'm not going to get this back.
Yeah, no, it's horrible.
And I've lost my sister in the process. Sure, I'm a better person, but I did it for an M&M.
You're through to 1-800-DRAMA.
The show where you share your biggest dilemmas.
And we help you navigate them.
I'm Shaaba.
And I'm Jamie.
Come join us as we help people figure out if they are the drama.
Because sometimes you just need an outside perspective.
And we can all expand our own mindsets along the way.
Wait, am I the drama? Red flag, green flag, Shaaba.
Hit me.
Pet names.
As in, for people.
For people.
What constitutes a pet name?
Honey, babe, sugar lump.
Do people really call their partner sugar lump?
I will call you sugar lump
I
from
would
now on.
really rather you didn't. I feel like within that, there are red flags and green flags.
Donut.
Do you know what I mean? There's like a pick and mix of flags.
Muffin.
Muffin's kind of cute. I used to hate the term babe, but we
You say it all
babe
the time.
all the time.
Babe.
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 Hey babe.
Babe.
I can't stand honey.
No.
That bugs me a lot. And like lover.
What's up, lover?
Hello, lover.
You're right.
But then some people would say the
Schlubber.
same about about babe. So I don't know.
Yeah.
I call you Jiggly Butt, and I don't know why. I don't know where it came from. I don't know why it started, but it stuck.
Rolly has a pet name for you.
He does. Rolly calls me Shooby and Booby. He even spells it as such.
Yeah.
For my birthday recently, he sang to Shooby and Booby. It was quite beautiful. So what's your flag?
I mean, I have to green flag it because I do it. I'm like a red flag myself.
What do you think, Peaches? Let us know. Do you red flag or green flag pet names? Or are they beige flagged? I feel like this is an example of a beige flag.
No, I think they're green flag because they can be cringe, but there's nothing wrong with being cringe sometimes.
I like that.
You taught me that.
Anyway, how's life? Jelly bean. There you go.
Ugh.
I'm just trying to
I
think
don't
of a
want to be
new
jelly bean. That
pet
makes me think
name
I'm like a newborn hamster.
that started with J.
How's light warm?
Warm, yes, it's very hot right
and
now.
it was just your birthday.
I was really hoping you'd use a word for me, beginning with G.
Groovy.
And why is it groovy, Jamie?
Because we boogie.
It's because my new song, Staying Groovy, is out, and I really would love for you to have a listen. I'm really trying to see, I've set Peach goal for 17,000 listens.
Listen, basically.
On streaming platforms.
Do it.
But like, you only need to listen once. If everybody who normally watches the videos just checks it once, no, not too many times. Otherwise, I'm gonna get like done for suspicious activity, which I don't want. If you like the song, just give it a listen. Where can they find it, Jamie?
Spotify, Apple Music, Deezer, Amazon Music, anywhere else you listen to music.
You sound like one of those people that do the ads. You know,
Like the Robert Dias advert.
Yeah.
Hoovers,
Doors galore.
televisions. Listening to the song is totally free.
entirely free and really help support. So take a listen. Let me know your thoughts and find Jamie's store where he's apparently selling Hoovers and doors galore.
I am.
All right, Jamie, are you ready to go fishing? For
Drama.
So let's go.
Am I the drama, Shaaba?
Always.
Don't answer. For, quote, training a guy, quote, like a dog.
Okay, you're either training a guy like a dog or you're not. I don't understand.
Yeah. Training a guy like a dog.
It's giving, I accidentally murdered someone today. OP says, I'm a 23-year-old woman and I've recently started seeing a guy, a 26-year-old man.
I thought this was about a personal trainer in the gym. Never mind. Okay.
My head did go to relationship.
Yeah, mine did not. Let's just carry on.
Hang on a second. No, let's not carry on. How would one train in the gym like a dog?
I thought it was a personal trainer who was like been told they were disrespecting a client and like training them too hard and not being very nice.
Okay, this is how we know this episode's going to be chaotic, because when you said training a guy like a dog, I was thinking of a dog on like weight machines. Thinking how would that be?
No, I just meant like treating someone like a dog, like
Right.
not like treating them not well. You should treat a dog lovely, but clearly like it being used as a synonym for not training someone very nice. And do you know what that means? I'm in a healthy relationship.
Sure. I mean, to me, I don't know if that speaks to the unhealthiness of my relationship, which is also a relationship, so I don't know what to think of that. My head went to like Pavlov's dogs.
Yeah,
You know,
I can see
Pavlov's,
why.
there's like
Conditioning.
with the bell,
Yeah.
and the food and the salivating.
Yeah.
23-year-old woman recently started seeing a guy, 26-year-old guy. He's super pretty, but he's kind of emotionally unavailable, and he's alluded to an unstable/unhealthy childhood.
Right.
We know the type. I see you, fixer OP. I am you.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
For context, says this OP, I also work with socializing abused and neglected dogs at a local shelter, and I think how much time I spend with the dogs is impacting the way that I interact with people. You know what? We love a self-aware queen.
Do you know, yeah, I love that you know that about yourself.
You basically got the badge already for yourself, but we'll see. When we were on a date, says OP, I started subconsciously making mental notes about him, like the notes that I'd make about a dog. For example, I noticed when we went out for dinner that he ate really quickly and was very anti-sharing, like resource guarding. But when I offered to pay and suggested dessert, it seemed to make him really happy and a little calmer, meaning he was food motivated.
No, babe, no, you can't.
He's really particular about his car, which OP has said is territorial/crate aggression. He likes it when I pick where we go and what we do, eager to please. And so I've started to use the tactics that I'd use on a dog with similar problems. Okay, I already foresee this being a problem, and I didn't realize I'd have to put this out as a PSA, but for anybody who needs to know this, people are not dogs.
Yeah.
We don't work in the same way.
So it's the crate aggression about his car that just got me.
The one that I'm particularly concerned about is he likes when I pick where we go and what we do, eager to please.
Maybe he just doesn't like making decisions.
Or maybe he wants to please you.
Okay.
Or maybe he also likes doing said things. I feel like human brains and reasoning are significantly more complex than that of dogs, and this is the problem. We are oversimplifying. Issue?
Yeah, we have a frontal lobe.
OP continues. Recently, a friend pointed out that it's weird that I keep peanut M&Ms on me, oh no, with the specific purpose of offering the guy one when I see him and offering them again whenever I can tell that he feels vulnerable. She said that I'm being an asshole because he's a person, not a dog, so I shouldn't be training him like one. I don't think that's fair. I'm not trying to control him or anything. I just want him to feel comfortable with me, the same way I need the animals that I'm helping to be comfortable with me.
You know what she needs?
What?
You know those little like fake human hands on a stick? She needs one of those to like get him used to human contact. Just like stroke his head gently.
She needs those buttons where she can record the voices. That's
Yeah.
like treat, steamy bedtime routine, date night.
Peanut M&M.
The peanut M&Ms though, every time you meet him, how does he not notice? Really?
Yeah, what if you choke someone one day? It's going to have the opposite effect.
No, I'm just saying though, like you would know.
I would notice.
You'd be like, why
If you did that, I'd
do
be
you
like,
constantly have
yeah.
peanut M&Ms on you?
I'd be like, stop it. I don't want your weird ass peanut M&Ms.
Very bizarre. I'm not trying to control him or anything, says OP. I mean, I feel like you are.
It feels like accidentally a little bit.
Not with a bad intention.
Do you know why we use treats for dogs? Because they don't speak. Typically, people would verbally communicate with somebody when they were pleased about something they did, or they were unhappy with something they did, or they were happy to see them, or blah, blah, or whatever. You would reinforce it with a, hey, you did such a good job with that, or, oh, I'm so pleased to see you, or please don't do that again, it hurt my feelings.
If I could communicate to my cat that, wow, Apollo, I love the fact that you like to play with the bed sheets, but it really hurt when you dug your claw into me and drew blood on my shin. I would love to do that.
Yeah, a human would not use peanut M&Ms. They would use words. And if you feel like you can't use words with this guy, then there is possibly a mismatch.
There's a fundamental issue here too. The reason we train dogs in that way is to yield certain results and to establish a positive relationship with the food being the reward. But in a relationship, do you really want your partner to be doing things because of a peanut M&M and not because it's what makes you happy?
Yeah.
And I feel like maybe OP's just not really thought this one through. I don't know if this is like, I'm treating this too lightheartedly, but I'm seeing this as like quite a bit of a joke. And I feel like OP is not. OP finishes off by saying humans and animals aren't that different after all. We all just want to feel safe and cared for. The guy hasn't noticed yet, as far as I can tell. The problem is my quote-unquote technique is yielding really positive results. So am I the drama? Should I stop?
Yes and yes.
You are absolutely the drama. OP.
Like, it doesn't matter if it's yielding positive results. If you're in a relationship or you're seeing somebody and you want to help them grow from a certain behavior that you don't think is like that beneficial, and maybe they agree with you that it's not that great for them to have that trait, we use words as humans. At most, we could give ourselves a cookie after we finish a certain chapter revising for an exam, but that's a choice we make ourselves. We could give a child a cookie for doing chores around the house. That's a child. You can't communicate on the same level with like an 8-year-old as you can with a 30-year-old, but we still communicate with the child as well. Giving him peanut M&Ms and saying it's yielding positive results. He's not a science experiment.
Yeah, I think the biggest word that's coming to my mind now that you've said that, so there are 3 points for me. Number 1, people aren't dogs.
Yeah.
Number 2, you want him to have a positive relationship with you, not a peanut M&M. And number 3,
I
it's a
take
weird
the
sentence.
peanut M&M.
Could you imagine at the end of the aisle and being like, I do.
Yeah.
Just like expecting your peanut
And then
M&M.
he's
Be
like,
"There you
why
go."
did I do that? What
But
was your
number
third point?
3, consent.
Yeah.
This is a big one, right? Like, we can't communicate consent with animals in the way that we can with people. I know that I don't want my cat to shit on the floor, and I know that that's beneficial for everyone involved, and it's part of my ability as a parent to know and aid my cat in ensuring
That he
they are
doesn't shit on
only
the floor.
shitting where they're supposed to shit. Do you know what I mean? If I could communicate that to a cat, amazing. But seeing as I cannot, food motivation is a fantastic way to get them to use a litter tray. With a person, especially an adult, you're right, you need to know this is happening to you.
Yeah.
Imagine the betraying of trust to be like, sure, I'm a better person, but I did it for an M&M. Like, no, like, you want to know
No,
that they're a problem
I
and do
hear
it
you.
for you, and that person deserves to know that they're being fixed.
Yeah. And it feels like quite a trivial thing, and I don't want to make it deeper than it needs
I
to be.
hear what you're saying, but it's
But
actually quite alarming.
It feels like a joke, but I'm like, no, we don't. Like, whether it's positive or negative, you cannot view your partner how you would view a stray or rescued dog. You know, having difficulties and troubles, and this is how you train them and make them feel safer. You can just talk to him. And if he's not willing to communicate verbally and cannot grow from that, then personally, that's not somebody I'd want to be with.
Yeah, and they deserve to know why they're doing it, and you deserve to know that they're doing it because they want to do it,
Yeah.
and because they're genuinely trying to be a better person, not just because you've got them low-key addicted to peanut M&Ms. The other thing that I was just thinking when you were saying that, you know what I'm like, my brain, when I look at these situations, often likes to extrapolate and put them onto different scenarios, and I think it goes beyond just, you know, like dog versus human. Even within human relationships, we treat people really differently. There are so many examples of teachers who then treat their family differently, or parents who are therapists who end up trying to treat their kids or their partners like they would their
Therapize their
therapist
family.
patients. You can't do that because our relationships are different. The fundamental way that we treat certain people that we love in terms of power dynamics and environmental context and relationship proximity are all very different. And as much as I think you have detected that your partner has some things that maybe they need to do better, I really hope you see that this is actually a huge issue that you yourself need to fix, because I can just imagine what a psychologist would say to something like this, and it's like, why do you feel the need to control people? Why are you so scared to use words? Why do you think that somebody doing things for a materialistic item like food is better than doing it because you want them to? Like, what does that say about you and your fear of maybe being hurt or being told no, somebody doesn't want? Like, is this speaking to your self-worth? I do think it goes very deep, as you were saying, starts with a cookie, or in this case, a peanut M&M. No drama here.
Oh, she likes this guy and wants him to feel relaxed around her. Giving him a small thing he likes seems to achieve that goal, so she keeps doing it. This isn't something that could actually manipulate someone into doing things they don't want to or being someone they aren't. If it was, I'd have solved all of my extended family's bigotry with candy and chips by now.
I think it's less about that and more about the point of consent to me, and the fact that I'm still just shocked at the idea that he hasn't figured out that it's going on. But the frequency, you're saying every single time you see someone, you give them a peanut M&M.
I think the biggest thing for me is like you're drawing that connection of like positive feelings towards yourself from your partner based on a treat, not you. That's what you said, and that's the thing that I think makes her the drummer here.
And the over categorizing as well, like you brought up the issue of the car, right, being like
So
crate
bizarre.
aggression. People are not just territorial in the same way that dogs are about their space. Our brains are more complicated. What if there's emotional connections to the car?
Yeah.
What if it's also tied to a sense of self-worth in a way that a dog that doesn't have a salary and a P60 would ever be able to, like, you know, think of in the same way? They don't have goals. I don't agree with this comment.
No, I don't either.
I'm confused. Oh my gosh, this is insane. She's 100% the drama.
Yeah, why is she Pavlovian training her boyfriend to be happy whenever he sees her? This is super manipulative.
It is.
And don't get me started on the examples she gave. So many people dislike sharing, love being taken care of, like having someone pay for your food when you don't expect it, love dessert and like their own space to stay the way they like it, like with his car. His behaviours are all normal traits humans develop, not dog specific.
Yeah.
She's making connections where there isn't any to justify her abusive tactics to get him to be the person she wants, not who he is.
This is a fantastic
And she's
point.
just making assumptions about him. Maybe she should just talk to her partner about her concerns to be honest with him. So weird. Just talk. And also, humans actually have put these certain things like resource guarding onto dogs. Like, and it's very specific to that animal's behavior. It's not something we necessarily put on each other.
You're right.
And like, we don't
Anthropomorphizing
crate train humans.
babies.
Like, it's very bizarre
Well,
what
I guess
she
we
did.
kind of do. When we're babies, we tell them stay in your room, and as parents, you're told let them cry. They need to learn to be in their own bed.
Go make comparisons.
Etc. I'm saying there are
Yeah.
worlds in which it does exist, but then human complexity is so much greater. I think it's really damaging to oversimplify.
That was my point. Sorry, I forgot my original point as I was talking. We have taken the way we see humans behaving and compared it to animals and simplified it for those animals and given it labels like resource guarding, crate training. But you cannot then flip it back the other way without complicating it somewhat to level it up for the brain.
Yeah. Just make sure to tell him he's a good boy.
Good boy. You joke, but that actually works on a lot of guys.
Okay, but it works on a lot of people because that's something that we call words of affirmation.
Yes, that's... I did a brave thing today and Shaaba was like, I'm really proud of you. You did a good job.
I mean, what's
And
that
that's like the
stat?
equivalent of good boy.
You did. Well done. I am really proud of you.
Thank you.
We share, what is the percentage? Isn't it like 70% of our DNA is shared with a fruit fly? In the same way, I could be like, oh, we're not that different, are we? But like, there's a
It's
big
like,
difference
yeah.
between a human and a fruit fly.
We're not that different to a bottle of water. Let me just drink you up and
Mostly
throw you in
wet.
the recycling.
Just because we could like see some similarities doesn't mean we treat these things the
Yeah,
same.
OP needs to listen to her friend.
Yeah.
This is like when one of your friends starts pursuing a psychology major and after taking 2 classes, they start psychoanalyzing everything you do. Like they think they can read your mind or something. Knew 2 people like this, got old really fast as they'd overread into everything you do. Like you did with this guy eating. We use treats to train dogs because we don't have the same level of communication as them. You and this guy have the same level of communication. Use it.
Yeah.
Totally agree with this.
What makes me really disagree with that person that said no drama here is they're like, oh, this is harmless. I actually seen this as being quite harmful.
Yeah.
I don't think that it's like a net neutral. It is actually doing a negative.
Yeah.
And the negative is coming from you in thinking, 1, this is how you resolve conflict. 2, this is how you treat people. And 3, people are not autonomous human beings that deserve to be informed of what you want from them. It's a bit bizarre.
It's a
And I
bit
really
bizarre.
hope, OP, you are able to see this beyond the laughs for the seriousness that it is.
And grow like a peanut tree.
Is that where peanut M&Ms are from?
Yeah.
Ah, and there's been a bit of an update from OP.
Oh.
For everyone asking me if I've seen the Big Bang Theory episode with the plot line, I have not. There was a Big Bang episode theory on this?
Okay, sure.
For everyone saying that they think I'm autistic, probably. I haven't been tested, but maybe I should. And no, I don't have loose M&Ms in my pocket because they get all melty and gross. I keep them in a bag in my purse. That's worse. It's like a proper doggy treat bag.
Yeah.
Do you carry poop bags too? Just in case.
I suspect this guy I'm seeing had a rough childhood, so I'm going to treat him like an effing animal. Hey guys, am I an a-hole? Yes, you're the drama and all-round really awful person for this.
Have you had problems with the dates humping your leg? Oh! Have you had him spayed? Or what's the word? Neutered.
Oh, dog trainer here. Behavioural techniques work with all animals and I use some with my kids, but some of what you were doing is messed up. We're always complaining about human anthropomorphizing their dogs,
Hey.
and you were doing the exact same thing when you read dog behaviours in a human. I also doubt that an M&M would be good for reinforcing a grown-up behaviour. The value of the stimuli is just too low.
It's also just a bit weird, isn't it?
Yeah, there is very little I would do for a peanut M&M.
Also, imagine being vulnerable and opening up to someone and being like,
Do you think she offers, or do you think she actually like goes, there you go, like we do with the dog? Here.
sorry, you have daddy issues? What's that? You were traumatized by bullies growing up? It's just really bizarre.
Very
It's
bizarre.
not even like context appropriate.
Like imagine if he's opening up and getting all emotional, and even if she's not like butch, she's like, peanut M&M? Hey, babe, I just stubbed my toe and it really hurt. Oh, here's an M&M.
But like, who is not realizing when you're like, wait, hang on, one second. Bag, open it up, take out the pouch, peanut M&M. Like, who is not noticing that this is happening?
I wonder if he is, but he just likes it. Maybe he's like, do you know what? Free chocolate. I'm here.
Oh. Am I the drama for refusing to go to my sister's wedding after finding out only our side of the family were having to pay to attend? That's drama.
I immediately want to go, no, you're not the drama. Like,
Right?
because why is there such disparity? Either everybody pays or nobody pays. So my younger sister Katie, a 28-year-old woman, and her partner Chris, a 29-year-old man, are getting married in April in Dubai. Why? No, I'm sorry. I instantly judge and I will call anybody the drama for going to Dubai.
A wedding in Dubai as well.
Do
I'm
not-
assuming with
no.
the names like Katie and Chris that there's no like cultural connection connection, in which case, I don't know. Let's see. Maybe they'll work there. It's an LGBT couple. We have our flags.
The way they treat LGBT plus people, the fact that I couldn't even go in as a trans person, the way they treat women,
The poverty disparities.
The poverty
and yet
disparities.
People are like, oh my god, it's such a great country. Like, let's just go and spend all of our money. It's so cheap there. This is a video saying itself. Let's just carry on.
If you go to Dubai, I will judge you. Anyway, she has always wanted an extravagant wedding and is going all out on this, so the wedding is happening over 4 days. I hate them already. That I'm not gonna know.
I will say there are cultural reasons to have weddings over 4 days.
There are.
I know what you
they're
came
called
across is like,
Katie
oh my
and...
god, if you're having a 4-day wedding, that's a problem. But that's not what you mean. We had a 3-day wedding.
No, but it's just they're Katie and Chris, and they're not doing it for cultural reasons. They're doing it because they wanted it to be extravagant.
4-day wedding in Dubai.
And I'm annoyed because they're going to Dubai. So I'm already like, so...
We got spicy, Jamie, today.
You do. It's very warm.
Nando's piri piri extra hot. Carry on.
There's 70 guests, but they want us, me, my husband and parents, to stay in the same hotel with them along with her bridesmaids, which I am maid of honour and groomsmen.
I'm sorry, I just need to say, extra hot works in so many ways. It's a double entendre because you are really hot and that could be your new pet name.
The hotel is pretty luxe, so a flight is costing us just over 2,900 each. Nearly 3 grand to go to a wedding. I'm telling you right now, I'm not going. I'm not going.
Jamie, you're not invited, babe. But if
no, I see in a hypothetical situation, if I were invited to a friend or even family member's wedding where we would have to pay 3 grand each. No.
Do you think a baby's got to pay that price? If kids are invited, would they also need to pay 2,900?
Jesus.
This is ridiculous.
Do you know what?
Do you know why I wouldn't go as well? Because I know there'd be so many people who couldn't afford it. It just feels like when you're doing this, you have totally forgotten what the point of a wedding is.
If you were going somewhere like Dubai and you were prescribing people staying in an expensive hotel, you either cover all of the costs or you go and elope. And then you also have a party back in the UK.
Yeah, or you have like a really small intimate wedding.
Or US or wherever you're from.
Yeah. Anyway, carry on. Maybe that is what they're doing.
Chris's family are also staying in the hotel, which includes his parents, 2 brothers, and his nephew.
Okay, so it's not like a huge... Well, actually, because we don't know who else family and friends are being invited.
It's a bigger side. His side is bigger than her side because it's her husband, parents, whereas he is his parents, 2 brothers, and nephew. So it's one more person. But anyway, they are well off. I don't know exactly how much they earn combined, but I know Katie is on 88,000 and she is the low earner. But about 6 months ago, Chris and Katie came to us and asked to borrow 17,000 more.
Really?
They stressed it would be a loan paid over time and said the venue had increased the price. Dubai law was different, blah, 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 blah. They paid this money or they lost the lot. Ooh. We believed them and offered to loan 7k and my parents the other 10k.
Okay, that's a bit of a spoiler. Saying we believed them suggests that that's not the case.
And they still made you pay to go. So long story short, I've since found out through someone else that the 17k wasn't for the venue, it was for Chris's family to fly over there.
There we go.
Are you freaking kidding me? They saw how much it was going to be, didn't want to pay and refused to go.
Right. As any reasonable person would.
And then that's for the couple to decide if they want to just go do it, the 2 of them.
Sorry, can I just say as well, so knowing that you were going to invite more people, right, and that you weren't going to pay for those people, you then went ahead and booked it and like invited people and were like, hey, this is the plan, now pay 2,900. That is so bizarre. If you're going to do a wedding that's going to cost more than the average person to attend, if you're going to do a wedding that's abroad, you have conversations up front.
Yeah.
And you say, hey, I'm going to do this. It's likely going to be at a cost for you. Can you do that? It's not just the fact that there's a cost. It's also the time, like the amount of additional costs that you don't even think of. The time off of work, the annual leave, the time that you're going to have to spend making that time up. Maybe babysitting. I don't know if you got a baby. I don't know if you got a pet. Maybe there's visas. I'm so stressed. Carry on.
I asked Katie and she confirmed, so my first question was if they were paying for his parents, why not pay for ours? Exactly.
Well, why the frick are you lying to me would be my first question, but that's a good second.
I would never expect them to pay for me, even if we couldn't afford it. I'd have wished them all the well and stayed at home. Okay. And her answer was, because they can afford it.
She's saying that our side of the family are paying for it because you can afford it. The other side aren't paying for it because they can't afford it. But just because one can afford it and one cannot. Honestly, if that was it, I would understand. But it's the fact that you lied and got money from one for the other without saying is so rude.
You made one side pay for themselves and now you've made them pay for the other side as well.
It is a loan.
It's just so ridiculous.
It is a loan. But
I don't know, but if they're lying about that, I wouldn't trust them.
And also, like, if you're collectively making more than 160k, and I've definitely undervalued that because I didn't include the 8, I was just basing that on 80k.
Yeah.
Why are you you not able to afford this much? Reduce the wedding from 4 days to 3 days. And there you go. You've got a quarter of your budget. This is so dumb. Carry on.
She got very defensive and said this was the fairest way she could think of doing it. It's hard enough planning a wedding, etc. But when I asked if you genuinely thought this was the fairest way to do it, why did you lie about what the 17k was for and say it was a venue issue? She couldn't answer.
Doesn't sound very fair to me.
No, it's not very
Sounds
fair.
illegal.
My parents are aware and are very disappointed they lied, but have said they're still attending.
I understand
But I
as
have
parents.
backed out. Totally fair. I would have backed out. To me, it feels like my parents are being taken advantage of, and if they can't
And
afford
you.
to pay for both our and Chris's parents and his brothers and nephew, then they
four
should have just paid
parents.
for the 4 parents or no one at all.
Yeah.
And they especially shouldn't have lied about
A
it.
million percent. The lying is
Yeah.
the worst part about all of this.
Yeah.
To me.
I hear you.
And also, that's what I'm saying, take one of the other extravagances off. If you can't afford all of that, like, since when do you then start taking money from other people and like just, oh my God.
Katie and Chris keep calling and asking me to attend, saying I'm making them feel bad and ruining their day. They
you
should
did
feel
that.
bad, and honestly, they deserve to have their wedding ruined at this point. I have no sympathy.
But I don't agree with that.
I'm spicy. They lied. They manipulated family members to get money. They're having a really expensive wedding abroad where
Like,
they didn't let
a
people
lot
know
of
the
money.
expenses up front.
Yeah.
And they're being really selfish about it, and they're just expecting people to drop it, pay for themselves, and go. And pay for other people, apparently. But the whole thing just feels icky to me. I'm genuinely an open book, so be brutal. Am I being the
No.
drama here? Should I go suck it up and go?
No, you are not the drama.
You're not
You're
the
absolutely not the
drama.
drama. Also, you are saving yourself 2 lots of 2,900
Yeah.
by not going. I'd be like, hey, you're doing a cute little reception here for extra family to come. I will come. I support you. I
Yeah.
wish you the best of luck with your marriage, but this isn't right.
If I'm honest, if it's costing $3,000 in the first place per person to go to a wedding, I can't think of a single person's wedding I would go to at that cost. I'm not paying $6,000 to go to anybody's wedding unless it's been run by me first and I've been given time to save up and it's like a really close family member or friend.
I understand if you are all like high-flying CEOs with huge salaries, you're buying your little Gucci bags left, right, and center every day. You know, like if you're living on that
If
kind
you're
of
a Kardashian.
crazy fun money budget,
Yeah.
sure, I can understand. It's the deceit for me.
Well, you've got one side of the family who can't even afford to attend the wedding.
No.
You can't afford to cover the costs fully for the wedding. And then you've lied about why you can't cover the costs to borrow that money off of other family. I just really hope OP gets her money back.
And it's these little things. They're setting my dar off, my nadar, and my nadar's pinging. Do you know why it's pinging? Because you're then saying, oh, you're ruining my day.
Yeah.
You're then going, it's the fairest way to do it.
It's not.
If it was so fair, why'd you lie? I'm so glad that OP was able to interrogate that.
Yeah.
And do yourself and not dirty. I can see why you're doing that, not just for yourself, but also for your parents. I can see why your parents are still going.
Yeah.
And that's fine. Everyone's autonomous human beings. Therefore, if you don't want to go, you don't have to
Don't
go.
go.
Save yourself $6,000.
Yeah, I wouldn't go. Should we see what other people have to say?
Yes.
Not the drama.
One of the many reasons I dislike destination weddings. They are the penultimate egocentric event.
Yeah.
I do see this. I can understand if there's like a reason. If there's families on both sides.
Yeah.
If there's a special place. But you have to work within the means of your context and your loved one's context. And as you said, it's really important for you to get married abroad. You do that. You elope. Or you do that and you invite the people that you want to invite and you pay for those people. And if that's not within your
Yeah.
means, then sorry, babe, that's not on your plan.
Or you run it past people first, and if, say, like your parents and siblings can't afford to go and pay for themselves, then great, and you gave them the heads up that they could do that.
And that would be your choice. I personally would not feel comfortable doing
I
that
wouldn't
because I
feel
think there's so much
comfortable.
pressure in feeling a need to say yes to be there for a loved
Yeah.
one, when really you don't need to do that. To have a good wedding is just supposed to be a little celebration of you guys. It doesn't need to cost a lot. Weddings are still expensive, even in the most basic form. There's already like the legalities of like councils and stuff. Do you know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
that stuff is what makes it expensive, but that is not something that your guests need to absorb.
No, definitely not.
That's my personal view. Not the drama.
It was wrong of them to lie about what the loan was for. I have to ask, besides the loan, who is paying for this elaborate wedding?
Opie's actually responded to this one and said they are.
Ooh, I know Katie's been saving for a while, and as I said, Chris earns good money too. As I understood, they had saved enough to pay for the wedding they wanted. The 10k was expected because mum and dad very generously did the same for me, but the 17 additional venue fee was unexpected, and they couldn't get that amount of money together quickly without taking out a loan, which would have cost them more in the long run. They should have taken out a loan. Not the drama.
Not only did the two of them lie to you and your family, but they're setting up unhealthy dynamics for both family relationships going into the future. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
If, like, one can afford and is now paying for the other. Oh,
Yeah.
I didn't even think about that. Honestly, if she's willing to lie about this now, what else will she lie about to you in the future, especially when dealing with her in-laws or at the request of her husband? Fantastic points here.
Yeah. Not the drama. Most rich people stay rich because they know how to get things for free.
Sad reality. Ooh! there is an update.
Okay.
Go for it.
This is like a whole other post. So in short, I didn't end up going to the wedding. Katie and Chris basically harassed me constantly until a few days before they were due to fly out. I received a belligerent voicemail from Katie saying if I didn't go, I wasn't her sister anymore.
Or,
okay,
see?
you're not her sister anymore.
Nada.
Yeah.
How dare you? How dare you sacrifice your relationship for something as materialistic as a destination wedding?
Yeah, I was embarrassing myself and her and Chris. I was a horrible person, and most shockingly, if I didn't go, then her and Chris wouldn't be paying me or my parents back for the money we loaned. Your sister is the biggest asshole. Your
So
sister
she is
gets
now
moldy
blackmailing
brownie
you.
badge. Horrible person, and honestly, I'm going to sound harsh, but you're probably better off with her out of your life anyway.
And it's both of them. It's her and Chris,
Yeah.
because they're doing that
Yeah,
collectively.
I'm pretty confident that this isn't the first time that Katie has been an asshole to her family.
I will also say they're both equal assholes too, because some people, I can see it, some people are like, oh, but we don't know what Chris is saying. It doesn't matter. Katie is an adult. She is capable of making her own decisions. She can clap back against Chris if he's the one instigating this, but she didn't. This is wrong. This is so wrong.
She would say the money was a gift. I faked the contract and I'd have to take her to court. She was clearly drunk at the time. The voicemail was left on the night
She left it as a
having...
voicemail.
It was left when she was having her at-home hen do, which I obviously didn't attend, but it was so beyond anything I thought she was capable of. I ended up sharing it with my parents, and they also reluctantly pulled out of attending.
I'm really
Good
glad
for your
that
parents.
you shared it and that you felt that you could be vulnerable enough to do that. It sounds like you have a really healthy family network, except for Katie.
I heard through friends and family in attendance at the wedding after her and Chris were telling everyone I had alienated her from her family and told lies to her parents. This is like a classic like narcissistic behaviour.
Honestly, this really is.
Because
I don't like diagnosing.
I'm not diagnosing, it's just I'm saying she definitely has a trait.
There are so many traits here that are just unbelievably manipulative.
She's done something wrong, and now she's blaming you for that wrongdoing and making herself the victim.
And the thing is about narcissism in particular, and for people who have NPD, which is different, but there's a huge overlap, they're living in a fake narrative. And the most important thing to remember in those situations is until they realise and can deal with the fact that that is not a reality that the rest of the world lives in, there is no changing what that person thinks.
Yeah.
This is an important thing to walk away from for you.
Katie and Chris also said that they were gifted the money and were now expected to pay us back. They made the decision to uninvite myself and my husband. Wow.
Lies.
Other, more insulting things were said that I don't particularly want to go into. Suffice to say, they were very hurtful. As I mentioned in my post, I had my brother-in-law, solicitor, draw up a contract for repayment of both myself and my parents. What was supposed to be the first repayment date passed without word from either of them, so
gosh.
brother-in-law picked up from there.
Imagine spending, how much did they spend? Whether it was the 10 or the 7, so many thousands of pounds, and then being like, holy shit, I'm not going to get this back.
Yeah, no, it's horrible.
And I've lost my sister in the process.
And they earned so much money. Brother-in-law's attempts to reach them were ignored, apart from one email from what I think was a fake law firm outlining the money was gifted.
Also
the contract
illegal.
was fraudulent, and to take them to court, basically. In response, my brother-in-law sent a copy of the voicemail Katie left and a final demand outlining the payment plan was now null and void, and we wanted the money in full within 30 days, or we would indeed be going to court. Magically, the full amount appeared in our accounts 5 days later. I'm so glad you got your money back, because I'm really glad you don't have to go through a court process, and you can just cut ties with her entirely.
Exactly
if that's
that.
what you want to do.
And honestly, this is what you need to do.
Yeah.
It sounds painful, but unless there's like some huge level of realization and remorse, you shouldn't have this person in your life.
Maybe cutting her off like this will give her that growth moment
Quite
to
possibly.
realise.
But more importantly, regardless, like we don't owe anybody else their moment to grow.
Yeah.
It just means that you are safeguarding yourself financially and more importantly, emotionally.
Yeah, just the last little bit. Again, I've heard on the grapevine since the wedding that they've been telling everyone who would listen we asked for our gift back out of the blue and disowned them, and how much of a difficult financial position they are in because of this.
Sure, you and your 160k joint salary. Here is the tiny violin.
The fact that you could even come up with 7k like that, or 10k, or however much
17k.
it was. Well, no, but I don't know if the parents got paid back.
Oh, true.
But OP has. So the fact that you can just come up with
both.
that. So that's that. I can't see myself having a relationship with her after this, which is devastating. But at the same time, I truly believe now, after everything, that this isn't my fault.
I am so glad that you can see that, my love.
It's kind of, this sounds harsh,
Wow.
but it's maybe like a good thing that it escalated somewhat to show her true
colours.
colours, and that you are truly and never were in the wrong.
I see your true colours shining through.
Exactly.
And they look like poo. It's really sad.
No, it's really sad. I'm really sorry for OP. This is a really shitty situation, which sucks balls. But if there is someone who is this arseholey in your life, you are always better off without them, in my opinion.
No matter their label to you, you deserve to respect yourself. And I'm so glad it's healing my soul a little bit that you've come out of this knowing that.
Yeah.
Drama. Ooh, should we do I feel like that was such a spicy one. Maybe we should leave our peak submission for another time, because that update post was essentially a post in itself.
Another like drama post. So yeah, we'll leave it with 2 stories, but you got a really juicy update.
That was a juicy update. And we hear you as well, Peaches. We should absolutely be doing more updates on the posts that we have reacted to. It is in the pipeline. There's just 1,000,001 things in the pipeline right now, but it is on my list.
The pipeline is blocked.
Just a little bit blocked right
now. But
we'll
get some deblocker.
Napping is the first priority on said pipeline. And then an update edition of
Napping
the podcast.
is a plunger for the plug.
Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this episode, please do feel free to give this video a thumbs up if you're watching on YouTube, and subscribing to the channel. It means a huge deal and really helps support us as creators if you could do so.
Do it. And if you're listening to this podcast on a podcast platform, please do give us a rating over there. You can also rate each individual episode, but it really helps us out if you can do that.
Do feel free to submit your own Am I the Drama, the 1-800-DRAMA subreddit, and we will catch you next time with another episode. Be kind.
Much love.
And have a great day. Bye.
Bye.